Established in 2004, Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, mostly known as CREAM, is a subsidiary of Construction Industry Development Board, or CIDB, that holds the responsibility over all matters related to the planning, implementation, and management of the research and development projects and related activities. With its mission to make CREAM globally recognized as the leading institute for research and development (R&D), and its vision to meet the strategic needs of R&D in the Malaysian construction industry, CREAM is committed to fulfilling its 5 objectives, that is, to fund, manage, and execute research activities and programs, offer tests and laboratory facilities for heavy structure engineering and building materials that focus on IBS structures and components, establish R&D cooperation with stakeholders in the domestic and overseas construction industry, earn funds and offer ventures for R&D activities and programs, and distribute the latest technology and R&D products to the national construction industry players through promotion, patent, and commercialization. CREAM serves as a key center that provides 3 main functions, namely research and development, testing of building materials and technical services, and assessment and certification. CREAM's main focus is the R&D program, which covers various fields. Its objective is to provide benefits to the progress of the nation's construction industry. The research themes cover 5 priority areas. They are the structural and material engineering, innovation and digitization technology, asset and facility management, environmental sustainability, productivity. Quality of service has always been CREAM's core value. This is to ensure that the Malaysian construction industry's strategic R&D needs are met. CREAM also provides testing services for material and building structure samples at its laboratory, Makmal Kereta Raya Malaysia, or MKRM. The purpose of this testing service is to assess quality and safety, as well as to improve materials and construction samples to meet the standards set. CREAM also offers services and other technical aspects such as inspection and sampling of imported building materials entering the country's ports. CREAM will conduct forensic investigations on construction sites in the event of failures or accidents. CREAM is pleased to announce that the MKRM has been expanded to Sabah and Sarawak, and that it is now ready to assist industry players in Borneo with construction material and structural testing in accordance with CIDB Act 520. CREAM Certification Services, CCS, provides construction certification services primarily for building materials listed in the CIDB Act 520. CCS performs an audit on the materials used in the production of product certification to ensure that the materials listed in Act 520 meet the standards. CCS has gained recognition from the Malaysian Standards Department in August 2018. In 2021, CREAM was recognized as a Construction Assessment Center by CIDB. This recognition has enabled CREAM to evaluate and rate construction projects. The evaluation covers 4 areas: quality, QLASIC; safety, chassis; green building, MICRES; infrastructure, sustainable Infrastar. CREAM is also responsible to carry out Certificate of Approval, COA, which is a certificate issued by CIDB to ensure that all imported construction products must meet the specified requirements of Malaysian Standard, MS. and other approved international standards. The issuance of the COA is in accordance with the Custom Act 235, 1967, Prohibition on Import, Amendment Number 2, Order 2014, to ensure the quality of imported construction products. To better serve the stakeholders in the national construction industry, CREAM established the Construction Industry Consulting Division, which focuses on industry networking and collaboration, as well as consulting services. The division aims to serve as a reference center and innovation hub for the Southeast Asian construction industry, ensuring economic and social responsibility in construction. CREAM is focused to be a leading-edge research institute for technology innovations in the construction industry, to act as a one-stop center for product inspection, testing, and certification services, to elevate safety, health, environment, and quality of the construction industry, to build partnerships with the industry stakeholders and researchers while exploring and encouraging the development of a knowledge-based industry.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Salam Ramadan and selamat berpuasa to all our Muslim participants today. Welcome to CREAM Webinar Series 2023. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. My name is Intan Diana and I'll be the MC for today's webinar. CREAM Webinar Series 2023 is a new program organized by CREAM and is a part of our efforts to initiate conversations on issues, challenges, opportunities, and initiatives for the construction industry and beyond. The theme for this month's webinar is Quality, Safety, and Health Management System in Construction Industry. And today we'll be talking about Contractor's Quality Management System, CQMS, CIS 29-2021, and alternate to ISO 9001-2015. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentations, please drop your questions into the chat box and our moderator will bring them up during Q&A session at the end of the presentations. Is everything okay? All right. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite our moderator for today. Our moderator is Technologist Dr. Haji Muhammad Harudin Ghani. He is a manager in charge on the construction industry consultancy at Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CRIM. He has been working with CRIM for over 15 years since 2007. Since then, he has involved in many research and consultancy projects locally and internationally. He graduated PhD in 2019 from University of Malaya and he holds a master degree, bachelor degree and diploma in civil engineering. His research interests focus on sustainability, resilient construction, project management, and facilities management. He has been involved from day one on the development of resilient guidelines on flood and landslide in 2017. He has published many articles and journals related to construction. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Harudin.
Okay, thank you, Madam Diana, for your kind introduction. All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. So, salam Ramadan to all for those Muslim. All right. So, hope this morning quite relaxed and cool with the Ramadan time. Okay. All right. So today we are going to have another series of CREAM webinar in 2023. All right. The theme for this time is Quality, Safety, and Health Management System in the construction industry. And by the topics that given for today's discussion is actually on the Contractors Qualities Management System. In short, we call it CQMS. All right. So for those who are not aware about the CQMS, actually the construction industry standard that was developed by industry stakeholders together with the IDB to look into the sets of requirement, the standards for the contractors for the implementation of quality management system in the contractors, especially to know about the details of the guidelines, the general requirements of the contractor, the leadership, the contract part, the procurement process, and whatnot. So basically, the construction industry standard quite very good documentation that was developed into 2021, that is 2 years ago. So I believe we call it CIS 29 2021. So I think for those who have not having that standard, I can download the document from the website actually. All right. So together with us for this morning, we have two speakers all together to discuss, to deliberate and further make a presentation on the CQMS. So the first speaker actually technology site Hazni Abdul Ghani. All right. Good morning, technology site Hazni. All right.
Good morning.
So the second speaker, Tuan Haji Muhammad Nazri Abdurrani, right? Okay. Assalamualaikum, Tuan Haji. All right. Okay. So we have two speakers this morning. So I was informed that the first speaker will be on the technology side Hazni, right? So is it okay? Is it okay, Tuan Haji Nazri? So after the technology side Hazni do the presentation, so Tuan Haji Nazri will take over. All right. So before we start off with the webinar series on the CQMS, so allow me to introduce a little bit on the technology side Hazni introduction. All right. This is my old friend, technology side Hazni, way back during my university time in UITM Shah Alam. All right. Technology side Hazni actually now is a certification manager at Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CRIM, together with me. So he joined CRIM in May 2008. So I joined CRIM May 2007, so a year later. So we are quite senior in the sense that at the CRIM. So both we have wide experience in many fields related to the certification and technology side. All right. So he was appointed as test engineer at that time under Makmar Kerja Raya Malaysia. In 2014, he has been appointed and given responsibility to lead and set up the new department, which is CRIM today, under the CRIM certification services based on ISO 17065/2012. For your information, technology side hosts Master Engineering in Civil Engineering from UITM. In 2016 and Bachelor Engineering in Civil Engineering from UITM, and also diploma. So at that time I did a diploma together with technology side at that time. All right. Okay. So currently he's a professional technologist from the Board of Technologies Malaysia. All right. A graduate members of Board of Engineers. Okay. So he has been involved in and representing many fields in terms of technical committee such as force work in construction CIS 23, construction industry standard for ready mix concrete. So many more. He's sitting on the technical committee. All right. So basically he is a qualified auditor and lead auditor by International Register of Certified Auditors ISO 19001. And 2008 IRCA, and he also a technical assessor for ISO IEC 17025 under Department Standards of Malaysia, Quality Professional and Assessor MICRES, and also the SHA6 Assessor of CIDB Malaysia. Very long bio profile. All right. So I think with that introduction, I believe technology side have a vast experience, especially in the standards, in the implementation of construction standard, in terms of assessment, certification, and so on. So I think with that introduction, I want to pass to the technology side Hazni to give his presentation on the first part of the our session today is on the contractors CQMS CIS 29 2021. with that, I pass over to technology side. Okay, over to you, technology side.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all participants. Thank you to our moderator, my old friends, Technology Dr. Muhammad Karudin. And also thank you all the participants to spend your time today in morning to hear about this what is Contractor Quality Management System, CQMS. Okay, my task today, I will share about the standard CIS 29 2021. So, okay. Okay, this as mentioned by our moderator, the little bit about my background. Beside of the as a officer under the Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, currently I'm lead one department, Center for Quality Assurance and Certification. So I think everybody maybe want to know what we did in under the CQSC. Okay, I give some snapshot because I think this the good opportunity to share what our services and what we can provide to the industry. So what we did in CQSC, for your information, as mentioned in as we see in our video previously, for information, CQSC is one a department under Construction Research Institute of Malaysia. We cater a lot of stakeholders, either the ministry, manufacturer, developer, authority, project owner, contractor, importer, association, and also state government. We have a various of scheme. One of the scheme, the latest scheme, is Contractor Quality Management System based on CIS 29. For your information, just to share about our services, I think this is a good opportunity because I think a lot of contractor here. So we have our program. For example, you want to do is for this environmental and sustainability, we have micro and infrastructure. If you want to do the safety, we have safety and health. We have a chassis based on CIS 10. We also have a quality for workmanship based on CIS 7 and also quality for roadworks based on CIS 19. In other hand, we also have a quality for this product. I mean the construction material. We have a construction product approval. If you are using the IBS system, please get your construction product approval, especially when you provide formwork, timber, steel frame, and innovation system. So the rest for product certification, we also have ISO IC 17165. We are focusing. We also see a certification body that focusing only for construction material. So our topic today is a part under CQSC, that is a Contractor Quality Management System. Okay, so I would like to share to all of you because I'm one of the community in the construction industry. Although I'm sit on under CRIP, I also the community. I would like to share what the latest news with yours participant. The latest for information for the Act 520 fourth schedule. Based on this slide, we can see there is some information enforcement on the some material, especially on thermal insulation, radiant barrier, aluminum frame, and also aluminum alloy windows. So please make sure, or either you are contractor, you are user. So the user, please make sure you are using the product that have certificate of conformity. In Malay, they call Pengakuan Pembangunan Standard from the CIDB Malaysia. So if you get the product don't have this certificate of conformity from the CIDB, please make sure they get the product certification first, then apply to this PPS, Pengakuan Pembangunan Standard. Okay, I think that's all some introduction. I think as a part of my responsible to share what the latest news, so everybody in the industry aware what the next to be done. Okay, so I think the first I would like to share to all the participants one quote. I think this quote relate to our topic today about the CQMS. This quote from Mr. Boris Chang. the founder or chairman, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. So he said that without the strategy, execution is aimless. And without the execution, strategy is useless. So based on CQMS, CI29, we need the strategy. We need the strategy to look into the huge angle, the main angle, the parameter of this program. And then, of course, we have the strategic. We need the execution to implement this CQMS. How to implement? How to the next stage? What the process we want to do? Because to become the successful, the program, the strategic and execution need to be need to together to make sure this program become the successful. Okay. Okay, this is data I would like to share to all of the participants. Currently, previously we have more than 100,000 contractor, but after the PKP, there are some reduction for the number of contractor from the G1 to G7. Okay, this is our focus to implement the CQMS for this contractor. Okay. Okay, what the challenge and issue among the contractors? I think this some issue. I think a lot of issue, challenge and issue to implement the QMS quality management system in the contractors. That's why CQMS intends to improve the overall quality delivery and especially on the workmanship. Okay. So some issue, for example, we have a systematic process and procedure. Either we have the process and procedure, but the process and procedure is not systematic. It can be the documentation will be not proper. So then the data record and control, we also look into the responsibility. This is one of the challenge and scope of works. And then we also look into the main issue, internal audit and organization commitment, and the main things under the QMS, quality-based system. It is a continuous improvement process. Because from my views, when we develop the standard, we want to find the mistake, but we want to take how to improve time to time. Maybe we have one room of improvement. Either the room is big or not. It depends on the process that we develop under your organization. Okay. Okay. What is quality in construction? Okay, quality in construction in general means that the project or its component are completed in conformance as defined in the scope works. Scope work means that your project scope works. Either you are a mechanical or electrical contractor, either you are civil contractor or structure contractor. That reflects the order expectation, specification conformance, and full acceptance of the project. This is quality in construction. And it will bring us the question, how to do it. Any standard related to the contractor? Yes, that is CI29 that developed as mentioned by moderator. This standard is initiated by industry, but they coordinate by CIDB Malaysia in order to improve the contractor process and procedure under their organization. Okay, who's involved in the standard development? Actually, we have various of parties involved in the standard development. We have a association of consulting engineer Malaysia. We also have CIDB, of course, DBKL, Dewan Bandar Kuala Lumpur. We also have PWD, JPN. We also Master Builders involved also on the development. We have Persatuan Kontraktor Bumi Putra Malaysia, Reda, Sirin Berhad, also involved in the development. We also have a Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Air Negara, Telekom, and also University Technology Malaysia. There's a lot of parties that involved for development of CI21, 2020, so S29, 2021. Okay. Okay. Now we will focus on the standard. What is the standard CI21 and what is CQMS? Okay, this two question. I think the main question previously based on my experience when I present to the tribunal housing for the CI7, they also ask about what the different QLASIC and also CI7. So the answer at that time my brain need to think very fast because there are a lot of precedent there. So the difference between the CI39 and also CQMS, CI39 is standard that developed by CIDB Malaysia in order it can be used any stakeholders, either you the contractor or you are the owner, you are the consultant, also you can use it. But CQMS is a program certification belonging to CIDB Malaysia. Okay, CIDB Malaysia is a program owner of the CQMS. So as part of that, it is independent system to evaluate. This is the main of the CI29, the implementation of the quality management system for the contractor based on the requirement of the standard. This is an alternative, as mentioned by Madam Diana previously. They also it is independent. It is as part of alternative for the ISO 9001. For CIS39, we also offer the structure framework by establishing clear and cohesive principle of requirement supported with the guideline in annexes. So this standard is, for my view, is a beautiful standard because if you see this standard, you can use it for your internal to implement the system, to implement your improvement and so on. So when this standard also set a structure quality requirement for the contractor in dealing from the tendering, construction planning, procurement, construction works, and last post construction process that enable continued improvement and delivery the quality project on time. Okay. When I evolve this standard development, in my views, this standard very fragmented because in order to implement the management system, it looked into a lot of angle of the contractor. So we get all the information from the contractor, the participant, and it is more focused on determination and process in terms of capacity and capability of the contractor. This is very important under the CIS29. So what is the objective? What is the objective of the CIS 39 2031? It have a four main objective. First, to identify the criteria in evaluating the contractor implementation based on quality management system. Secondly, to determine the tools in assessing the effectiveness of the contractor quality management system. Then also to establish framework of the standard quality management system in delivering construction services to the industry. And lastly, to provide third-party certification based on the requirement of this standard. This where is CRIM come. We want to provide the services for the certification under the CQMS program. Okay, that's why we hope CRIM hope I on behalf of CRIM, we hope that if you are interested to implement this program, please email to me. We can discuss it. I really appreciate because this is a new standard. We want to look into a lot of angle of the parameters and so on. Okay. So what are the scope under the CI29? Actually, for your information, it have two main scope. One is general management requirement, GMR. Secondly, construction management requirement, CMR. I will explain the detail. What is the detail of this two requirement? Because I think why we want to do this, because we want to have the standardization and interpretation of the standard at the same page. So we want everybody at the understanding is same, understand and same page. I mean, okay. So I go to the first general management requirement. So this is the first the requirement. Actually, they have 9 elements under the GMR. In short, GMR. So easy to say. GMR. It have a first leadership and commitment. It have a documented information. It have a communication. It have also the analysis and performance evaluation. You also have internal audit. Also, you have a management review and quality decision, non-conformity correction and action. Because based on internal audit, sometimes we will find the non-conformance. So, what the next action we need to take it to improve the scheme or our process and our system. And also we look into the client requirement fulfillment, and also the very important, as mentioned earlier, is continuous improvement, because the standard ISO, either ISO, CIS, we want to improve our scheme, our system, our process, and also our procedure. Okay. So first, we look into the first requirement under GMR is leadership and commitment. You have some requirement for the guidance for the effectiveness, means that how the leadership from your commitment from this your top management, or to make sure the system is effective. And then we also look into the quality policy and quality objective. We also look into the integration of the QMS. If you have a lot of management system, so you can integrate all the system. So, and also we look into the resources needed. Then we also look into this ensuring the intended objective. The very important under the organization, I think everybody know is communicating, because in the construction we have a lot of, a layer from the top management, go to project director, project manager, project engineer, until the site supervisor, and also the subcontractor. So the communicating hierarchy is very important in this manner. So then we also supporting and suggesting to the employees, and supporting the other relevant management roles. These are more on the responsibility. Okay. Okay. The second under GMR is documented information. We look into the document control and control of documentation. This is very important, because in construction we have a lot of documented paper. So as mentioned, we have when we buy the ready mix concrete, when we buy we appointed the new staff employee, there's a documented must be there, because as we know that audit is based on evidence. So although you have the process and procedure, but when we look into the evidence not there, it can be comply with the requirement. So the process must be comply, we comply with the evidence base. Okay. This I mentioned earlier, communication, hierarchy of the submission and approval, time response to request for information, RFI, and effective project information dissemination. These are some requirement under the communication. So under GMR also we look into the analysis and performance evaluation. First, we look into the conformity of construction works, the degree of client acceptance of works. We also look into the performance and effectiveness of the CQMS, or how you implement the CQMS in your organization, the effectiveness of and planning action taken to deliver the project on time. This is very important, because in understanding, if you look into the appendix A, Annex A you will have some idea about this. I will share some point under this requirement under GMR. Then also we look the performance of external providers. For example, you have a consultant, you have a project management consultant, and so on. So the need of the improvement to the CQMS. These are some requirement under the analysis and performance evaluation. So the next also I think this some people are very afraid when we do the internal audit. I think this is good, because this perception of the internal audit must be there, because we want to improve. So without the internal audit, how we want to improve, how we want to confirm to the requirement. You have a procedure, you have a process, you need to look your process and your procedure is comply with based on the third party audit. Although the person internal, but it it should be show the impartiality. It should show the how the professionalism to implement the internal audit. Then effectively implemented and maintained. This is very important. The record, you need to keep all the record for the internal audit. Then after the internal audit, we also look into the management review. This is very important because at this time, the commitment of the top management is there. So if you have some requirement, or for example, during the internal audit, you see your contractor or your subcontractor not use PPE. So it can be a non-conformance. So when they become the non-conformance, they need to be discussed under the management review. We look into the status of action from the previous. We also look into the performance and effectiveness. Either you buy PPE if it is enough or not. So if you buy only the PPE, then the workers do not know how to use it. I think it is useless. So we need to have the training. That's important for the contractor to provide the training to your workers. Either your worker or subcontractor is very important. Then under the management review, also we look into the adequacy of resources and opportunity for improvement. So what the improvement it can be done for the future. Okay. So the next, I look into the non-conformant and corrective action. Under the non-conformity and corrective action, it is mostly based on the internal audit. So when we conduct the internal audit, the person that do the internal audit, they look into a lot of parameters, a lot of perspective. Because, but it cannot be beyond the process and procedure, because if you say that the submission of the document need to be sent, need to be complied in 7 days under your process, so the internal auditor will look into this. Either you comply in 7 days. It's a very the requirement. So as a CQMS, when we as a third party auditor, we will look into either you comply with the requirement or not comply with the requirement. So under the conformity of the corrective action, there's some guidance. First, arising conformity complaints. So we also look into the corrective action on the non-conformities. We also look into control the conformity report at the site, NCR. So means that if the NCR is the auditor find the NCR, how the process to close the NCR. So non-conforming outputs and also contractor documented information. So this is very important because during the audit for the CQMS, we look into your documented requirement information. So how, maybe some of you ask, what the document the CQMS we check? So as mentioned, my moderator, you need to download this standard. This standard is very useful and easy to understand because under the Annex B, it already mentioned what the documentation you need to have. It's very direct guidance for the industry. So I think the next is under JMR, we have another two. What is client requirement fulfillment? We look into the work progress, also the OSH and environment and quality of works. So under the requirement, especially on the quality of work, some you can implement of the program like the QLASIC on your program. For your permission, for the government project, under the QLASIC and SHASIC, it is borne by CIDB Malaysia under project government project. So I think this is a good opportunity for the contractor. If you do this project under government, you can take this opportunity. And also thank you CIDB for this provide the subsidies. So then we look into the continued improvement. The last on the DMR is a continuous improvement. We look into the improving quality of work to meet the requirement, future needs and expectation. What the improvement quality for future needs? This is a very important point for your information, because when we have a system, when we have the process and procedure, it is not the is just not the final one. The perfect, the procedure and process is perfect. Actually, when time to time, when look into the improvement, some maybe the act change, we need to improve our process. For example, if you are the contractor, under your process, you use, for example, you use I mean that like iron and steel. So you need to make sure your iron and steel product that you buy have certificate of conformity from CIDB. It's very important because CIDB will enforce not only for the manufacturer but also the user. So you can put the requirement under your process and also under your procedure. It's very important. So the second, correcting the preventive or reducing the undesired effect, improving the performance competency, especially your workers, and also the effectiveness continually. What do you mean in the competency? Because you have a lot of contractor, you have a lot of subcontractor employee. So this is very important to make sure the competency of the workers is there. How you give a training, either you give a training monthly or weekly, all the things must be records. So during the CQMS certification that we conduct the audit, we need to make sure all the record is there. Yeah, so this is very important. Either, for example, you have a bricklayer, you need to show how the training, the trade. Either they have a competency of the as a bricklayer or not. It's very important during when we do conduct the CQMS certification audit. Okay. I think that is a 9 requirement under GMR. As I mentioned, we have a 9 requirement from the leadership until the continuous improvement. So how to, I think the first question, how do we want to comply all these requirements? Okay. So under the CIS 29, it's a very, I think, very useful standard because it's easy to understand. For example, under the leadership, as I mentioned before, we have one requirement under leadership and commitment. What the evidence we want to see? As mentioned under the Appendix A, we want to verify your quality policy and objective. We want to verify your organization chart. We want to see your record of training and briefing. For example, you have a morning briefing, safety briefing, or so on, and participation related to quality management system. It is more focused on this. We look into your attendance, establish a recognition award for employee if you have, and also verified minute meeting of management review with and approve action. So the minute is not enough, but how the action you taken from the minute of the management review. That's very important. We will look into it. So the second requirement, as I mentioned, when I do from the 9 requirement, it is internal audit. What we see under internal audit, we will look into your establish your internal audit program. We look into your internal audit plan. We also look into your non-conforming report and observation, including its status. Either it already closed or not, or still open. So we look into all the parameters when we conduct the internal audit, the process. So then the last I would like to share to all of you, because under the 9 requirement, I think if I want to go through one by one, it takes time. But I think I will look into some requirement. For example, this the last one is continuous improvement. We look into how you establish register of improvement initiative, including its progress. So under the standard, we want to see either you have initiative when during the internal audit, when the NCR is established, how you close the NCR. We will see the process and the program, how you close the non-conformant report. Okay, I think this is the first appendix for the JBA, but in my views, I look into the improvement because the standard is not to find a mistake. This is my point. Because we want to improve. We want to look into improvement because we have a lot of contractor. For like I shared before this, I think maybe 1 or 2% have the ISO 9001, especially the G7. But the rest is maybe they try to find what the standard we can use it to improve our internal program. That's why we have a CI 29. Please, I hope you can support this program from your views, and we can look into work together, either to comply the requirement under this CIS 29. So that's under the JMR. Now I focus on the CMR, construction management requirement. Under the construction management requirement, it have, I think, 5 requirements under CMR. The first is tendering. So we look into your tender management. We also look how do you have a tender pricing scheme, tender negotiation, and so on. So we want to see your record and how you implement the process, how the involvement of your organization in terms of tendering process. So, and then we also look into this. The second is construction planning. Under the construction planning, we want to see how do you assignment of the project identification, how you appoint the project leader and team members, comply with the legal and other requirement, how you conduct the decision on the construction methodology, because in construction we have a lot of construction method. Either you can use a frame for this when during the support for the construction sector, or you cannot use it. Maybe you can need to use modular scaffolding or so on. This is a requirement you need to establish under your decision when you conduct the construction methodology. For your information, just to share to all of you, the steel frame scaffolding cannot be used for this shoring. So this is a new requirement. So please make sure you can implement on your construction when you do the construction. So then we also look into your establishment or work program. We also look into your drawing up site layout plan. This is just to share to us. And then also we look into the planning of the QA/QC method and OSH, and also environment requirement. So during this the planning, we want to see how you make sure in terms of safety, you take a responsibility on the safety. Maybe you have 40,001 for environment and so on. It depends on your company. But if you don't have a ISO, the rest ISO 40,000, 50,001, it's okay. But you need to have your internal requirement. You need to have the procedure. You need to have the record. For example, environment, we look into, maybe we look how you implement for the oil, how you control the oil, the diesel on the site, and so on. These are very important. You can implement on under your during the construction planning. Okay. So then the third one is procurement. Procurement under CMR, we also look into purchase of material, machinery requirement, manpower planning, also project financing. So I hope as contractor, I hope when you purchase the material, please make sure if the product is the material, construction material is listed under fault schedule, please get the certificate of conformity, because we are industry, construction industry, we are communities, we need to share what the latest information related to regulatory. So I hope with your support, I hope we can improve the quality of the workmanship or quality of the material on the construction site. Okay. Next, the fourth, I think the next is the construction work. These are more on the during the construction. We look into the mobilizing to the site. We also look into incoming, how you check the material inspection and testing. Either you do the testing or not. And then also we also look into the materials, machinery, and equipment handling. For example, if you have used heavy equipment, how you control, maybe you need to marking or so on. And also we also look how you control the construction activities during the construction, especially on the safety and environment. We look also on your progress monitoring, because I think for the construction they have a monthly meeting. So we want to check either we want just to check your process, your program monitoring every month, and so on. Is up your process and procedure. So we also check your joint inspection and progress claim. Either if the progress claim is confidential, is okay, but we want to check either you do the joint inspection, because when we want to hand over the every project, we want to either you have either with contractor and project owner do the joint inspection. Okay, the other construction work also we look into your housekeeping. And last, project handover and obtaining CCC or CPC. It depends on your project, either your project private or government project. We look into how you process, do this handover and obtaining CCC, because some developer, for information, they already put the requirement for the QRC. So if the requirement is there, you need to comply with the requirement. So we will check either you comply all the requirement when you do the project handover. Okay. So I think the last is under the CMR is post construction. Post construction, I think when the project is completed. So how you conduct the rectification work during the DLP, defect liability period. Either you have record all the requirement, all the request from this project owner. And also we look into the certificate of making good defect, CMGD. And also lastly, we also maybe we see how your project close out and find a claim from you to the project owner. Okay. I think the next under the CMR, we also give a guideline for the contractor for implementation and certification. This requirement. So I would like to share how a certain requirement. I don't want to focus. Because the standard is more than 50 page. If I go to page by page, it's very take a time. Maybe one day training, because this awareness we want, as I mentioned earlier. This is one of the part of the execution. We want to give awareness to the contractor. We have the program, CQMS certification. So the next, after we have this execution plan, we want to implement this. We hope we get the support from the industry, especially contractor. So under the CMR, okay, I just to share how to because I understand that they have a 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star. What the meaning of the star? So under the standard, you have a 5 column. One the column is the requirement, the clause 3.1, 3.11. 3.11 means tender management. So under the tender management, if you see this, the third column, fourth column, and the last column, they have a duration, responsibility, and evidence of result. So duration, the contractor shall determine the reasonable and practical duration for the process shown in the flowchart. It is your process. So you need to determine your process. Because every contractor, they have their own system, they have their own requirement, and so on. And who is the second staff? Responsibility. The contractor shall assign a suitable person who is a responsibility for that requirement. For example, they want to produce the drawing. Who responsibility? Either project engineer. So this is very important. Need to suit. If you want to do the tender management, but you appoint the safety officer, is quite difficult, because it not tally with your responsibility and also the requirement. And then under this standard, we also guide you what the evidence we want to see. So under the last column, evidence or result, contractor may add evidence of the result where applicable for the process identified below. It is the minimum requirement for your information. If you have your own requirement, you want to have a lot of requirement on yourself, you can add. This is a minimum requirement. Okay. So I share some under the standard because I don't want to share most the requirement under the standard, because first I share to you establishment of the work program. So under establishment of the work program, we can see they have a duration. For example, you want to plan and prepare work program and submit to client or representative. How long you take? Maybe you take 3 days, 4 days. It's up to your process. And then who's responsibility? Maybe you say that this responsibility for the project manager. You can put there project manager what the document need to have, draft work program. So this how we read this CQMS set 29. Then when the auditor come, they will look into the checklist. They will look into your duration, responsibility, and evidence of the result. Okay. So if you have the work program, who the finalize the work program? Maybe your project director to finalize, to verify the program, the work program can be used on this project, and so on. This is one of the requirement I share to all of you about the establishment of work program. The second, I would like to share about the machinery requirement. So under the machinery requirement, we can see that, for example, to identify the machinery requirement. So we need to know what the machinery you need to renter and so on. So you need to list out to us, so we can see either how long you take duration to identify, and whose is responsibility for this to take care. I mean to identify the machinery requirement. I think maybe for project manager and so on. Okay, it's up to your program actually. Okay, all right. So the rest, I think this last, I think about this plan for the site mobilization of the site. So I think maybe, for example, obtain the necessary permit of the occupation and licensing. So as an auditor, when we come conduct the audit, we look into your duration. How you take? Maybe you have a license officer, for example. For some, during previously I working with a contractor. They also have a license officer. They only focus on how to get the permit, how to get the license from the authority. So we will see the permit and also license from your records and documentation. And then maybe you have conduct the kickoff at the site with the client and representative. We look into your minute of kickoff meeting at the site. These are some I share to all of you some sharing how we read the standard. How we read the standard. This I think this is very important. When you want to implement your standard inside your organization, you can use this as the guidance. If you familiar with CI10, CI10 is about the chassis. It also a very useful standard because easy to understand how to implement the standard, how to check documentation, and so on. They're very direct standard. So I think this is good for the industry in order to improve, increase, and evaluate your quality improvement on your organization. So I think this is one of the question. Maybe you will ask later. But I give this what we can get, what the benefit of the CQMS. This is very important. I think a lot of people ask what the benefit. For your information, in my views, and maybe from the previous paper from the industry, the internal benefit, it can be enhance your company communication between the top management to the implementation employee. So we also can look into the improvement documentation. So if you anything requirement, for example, they want to check. I want to check the training for this guy. So you can show this guy we already give the training for the safety. So a lot of improvement we can see for the internal benefit. We also can look into the improvement quality of work done. So that's why we have a quality for ownership. So if the project is already completed, you can use our certification curiosity to see either your work comply with requirement under CI7. So we look into the improvement performance appraisal, efficiency and productivity. This is a benefit under the internal organization. For example, especially on the productivity, this is very important. I think maybe all the project or the project owner want to see, the contractor want to see how to increase the productivity. The next is external benefit. First, I think in my views, you can have a higher perceive quality of work done. So your work very they increase the quality. Okay, improve the client satisfaction. This is very important because you can get the next project because you comply with all the requirement from your client. So improve the supplier relationship, marketing tool, valuable of marketing tool, and also improve profitability and so on. These are some external, I mean the external benefit to your organization. But in addition, I think this is also benefit to your staff for the CQMS because first I think for your staff you can improve the team spirit. I mean the team communication, the team group, how to implement the project, how to do the project with the less staff defect and so on. And also we can see a lot of clear working procedure. So this is good for your staff. And also the benefit to operation, very important. As I mentioned, housekeeping, it can be reduced your wastage. Actually, if you have a implementation of the wastage program, you can use reduce the wastage of material, increase the efficiency, and better control of subcontractor and so on. And lastly, benefit to your business. I think it can more increase your maybe your profits, maybe less complaint from the project owner and so on. So I think there's some benefit. I think the benefit are more and more. But I think if you want to implement the CQMS in your organization, I hope we can you can email to me. We can work together how to the next stage. Okay, I think before I conclude with my presentation, I think the first very important when this standard is established, we want to establish the ecosystem. This is very important because the ecosystem, either you are contractor, you consultant, you are auditor, you external auditor, this ecosystem must be there. So when the ecosystem is there, the strategic and also the execution is easy to do. This is very important. I hope this CQMS, it will become the game changer for the contractor in order to enhance the capacity and capability of the contractor in Malaysia in construction industry. So I think that's all from me. I pass it back to our moderator, technologist Dr. Muhammad Khairuddin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Technology Syed Hazni, on your presentation. We can over his presentation, we will learn about the overall contents of CQMS and different what is the CIS 29 and also CQMS, the general management requirement, the construction management requirement. So those are the contents that are available in the CIS 29 actually. So a lot of questions have been asked pertaining to the technology sites presentation, but I think we have a Q&A session after all the presentation been done. So allow me to proceed with the second presentation first. Is it okay? Technology side, we will answer the question after all the presentation have been done. All right.
Okay.
So I have took not more on the information what technology side has presented in terms of the benefit, the internal and external benefit, the overall objective of the CQMS actually to build the competency and capacity of the contractors, the companies. So for that we can improve further in terms of what we call it internal organization to become more competitive enough to do a business, right, in the competitive business nowadays. All right. So I think we go for the second presentation. Okay, Tuan Haji Nazri, are you ready for the presentation? Okay, so okay, it looks like Tuan Haji Nazri also ready, and also I was told Tuan Haji Nazri together with his staff, Puan Hayati Omar. So before that, Tuan Haji Nazri allow me to read a little bit introduction about him. All right, Tuan Haji Nazri is currently as chairman of the companies of Total Organisation Management Consulting, Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So Tuan Haji Nazri is starting working in the service industry of food and beverages, F&B, in USA. So after that, he had implemented process control technology techniques basing on statistical process control and good manufacturing practices, GMP. And then he was involved in precision metal stamping industry as engineer and end up as assistant to my MD. All right. He has involved in the process inspection, housekeeping, 5S, MRP, production layout, process efficiency by G and fixture design. So we can see here the Tuan Haji Nazri has a vast experience, especially in the factory and also the manufacturing practices. So he's involved as a consultant company, providing training, consultancy, and audit in the area of process improvement. All right. He was then a quality management and TQM advisor to Arab Malaysian Development Group of companies. Okay, and involved in independent power producer IPP. All right. He later joined High Point Randall Consultant Malaysia Sdn Bhd as a senior consultant in construction industry, and later through the associate company as principal consultant. That he provide the training, audit and consultancy works for ISO 9001 and also ISO 40000 to various ministry and organizations. So I believe Tuan Haji Nazri have a very good experience we can share today on the latest document that we have prepared for the industry, CIS 29 and also the CQMS, Construction Quality Management System, Contractor Quality Management System. So all right, over to you, Tuan Haji Nazri. You can make a presentation. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Doctor, for introduction. Long introductions. I'm just a simple person, actually. My experience with CIDB has been like 20 years ago. We have started what we call a program called DIY program with CIDB, and has been a very successful in terms of marketing, in terms of doing things. What is a DIY program? DIY program is a ISO 9. Okay, here you put it as alternative 9000, but then it is these standards, the 9000 quality management system certified for the contractors. Contractors who wants to build the system, which from zero, from scratch, they've got no system, so they need something to. So what we've done is actually we try to replicate, or we try to suggest from what we have done in the telecom in Tenaga. Yeah, they use ISO 9001. And for example, until today, you will see that the Petronas gas, for example, they are the first. This is by a company who want to be listed about
It's breaking,
of
Antu
that.
Ali.
We have
Your
such a
voice is
system.
breaking. Yeah. All right. It's not so clear.
Okay, I'll try it.
Right.
Okay,
The sound's not
we'll make
clear.
it
Right.
better.
Breaking. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe come. This is something that we have learned to make better in DIY. In DIY, we have worked for CIDB with many contractors, and I believe it is a very for the community. But however, ladies and gentlemen, after a few times, after a few durations, people find out that a big company will cost around 10 to 15,000 a year to maintain ISO 9000. This for them is a cumbersome because it's just quite much of a the optimal size contractor, let's say G7. We wish to have G8 last time, but we don't. So G7 medium optimal size probably spend around 7 to 3 years. It's still for them quite a lot of money. But if you all the small ones, they probably spend they can't afford to have one, but really need something to be better because we try, I think, about twice to impose the ISO 9001 certification to all the contractors who wants to be to G7. Okay, really mandatory. It's kind of tough because of the price, because of the people, because of the technology, and all that. So people are scratching their head and saying that if we don't use 9000, what can we use? See, Malaysia has been quite behind from other countries like Thailand. For example, in Thailand, their internal standards, like Tuan Syed had mentioned about the CIS, for example, yeah, is much more popular than the ISO 9000. So they refer more to CIS, to MS, to many other internal, I would say, standards that they develop. So that number one, less hustle. They don't have to pay outsiders. They don't have to pay any royalties to anyone. For them only, for the cost only. Yeah. Number two, the cost is manageable. I mean, between pay unnecessarily. And number three, it's practical because the system is amended, is being looked at every 5 years for practicality. This strike the ideas of having, wow, it is better to have a CIS or a local standards similar or just say now right now same with the 9000, but has the benefit has the same, the cost is less, and all the people that we have in Malaysia has already know on how to use it, how to manage it, and how to run it. So this is some good idea that you must have. So what's the framework? Hmm. When we look at the framework, if we say that every company in Malaysia using the same system, we can just take the project code of any company and we can look at all the records and everyone can understand from the records. This is the commonality is what we're trying to have in the future. This is what we call digitalization in construction. So you imagine in the future, if I want to look at the ECRL project and I pick one node and I push on that node and I can see the procurement process. I push another node, the same procurement process. The procurement process is about the same and repetitive all the time. And I can understand which part and which the progress very fast. This is what we're hoping one day that it become what we call as universal as the communication will become a very easy for everybody to understand. So that we develop our own local standard, CIS 2029. Just checking, is the sound okay?
Yeah, Tuan Haji, it sounds quite okay when you turn off your camera. So it's good. All right.
All right. So basically, what we have is a practicality. Uh, then the next thing is, well, thinking about certification. We had one experience with this. I will say MOH. Yeah, MOH. I'm not naming which certification, but they failed because they tends to have a very low regime, a very cheap, a very not so proper, what we call as rumination benefit to the people who do the work. So sorry, people. Let's just say, well, when you give peanuts, you get monkeys. So basically, that's what happened, and that program fails. But until lately, I think about one and a half year, they revive back the program by having it voluntary, and the program comes back. What I'm trying to say is, we cannot say everything is free, but rather. When we want to put this framework to work, we have to make sure that the cost is there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the next point. My presentation is going to talk about the requirement, but I'm not going to talk about requirement because Tuan Said has done a very good job on that one. Okay, now I'm sure you have question like, what is the difference between 9,000 and CIS 29? CIS 29 is a local, so we build up from bottom. We build up from our process. How do we know our process? When we look at the appendix just now, the last one that Tuan Syed has shown you, that process, I decide for my company who's gonna prepare for example, for the schedule. Who's going to decide for the product schedule? Who's going to do the procurement? I will decide on that one. Okay, so basically, it's really not uh having a big perception. So I must do this, I must do that, just like 9,000. If it is the same, there's no point having the 9,000 NCIS 29. I want to have a system that I can build from my own capability, my own understanding, and my own dynamics. This is what I've done in a research. I have taken 30 contractors company and I have coached them, and uh, I have seen a tremendous improvement when they are given chances to improve themselves, not to push in improvement. They have to plan for improvement, show me every time instead of having where is your improvement, where is your improvement, show me the evidence. But rather every time they will show that this is my, I want to do this next, I want to do this next, without saying, and they have improved. I can it's one company in Cebu. I started with only 60,000 their sales on that time. First day was 60,000. Now they got $160 million worth of projects. Yeah, until today. So good for them. So having done the system for the CQMS, basically, the difference between 9,000 and the CIS 29 is you build your system. You decide whatever is going to be there, but there has to be verifiable. How much? How much? To show that it is effective for you, not for the auditors. Okay, for example, I have a schedule and I follow up the schedule. And I change the schedule every week because I need to have a very rapid changes because I need to keep up with the changes, for example, with the price, for example, for the steel price. So I need to have that. That is my dynamics. Yeah, well, that is my dynamics. I can do that. There's no problem about it. So that's what I'm saying. In terms of having uh, decision in between 9,000 and CIS 29, I can build my system. And do I need to have a procedure? Do not need, because it's already there in the appendix and everybody's using. I just do not want to create another slides because it's already there. I wish to open up if I could or the standards. I think huh? So, I think Ms. Said has uh, yeah, I think we have got twice of road shows on this, and during the road shows have given all the participants the link to for everybody to download. This is what I thought as wonderfully explained to everybody in this single manner. I think very uh, very very accurate. If you look at the construction work, okay, only got A, B, C until K. When we decide A to K, we even think of how to make it simple, not to make it complicated. Because once it is complicated, people will say, nah, then they don't have nothing to follow. And even if you look at the annex I was already mentioned that for this, I want this to the minimum. Minimum, that means that say that it has to be effective to you, not to anybody else. And if you look at the flow, the guideline, this is what I said just now. You decide who's going to be the what is the and all that, and you
Can you repeat again, Tuan
probably
Haji?
have problems.
Yeah, okay. Still breaking your
Duration.
voice.
Sorry.
Your voice still breaking.
Okay,
Right.
because the duration. Okay, can you hear me?
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Okay. All right. So sorry, doctor. Um, the duration brings quality. So you do not need to establish or hire a consultant to develop a system. So you use this. So there's of to look at because
Can you repeat again, Tuan Haji? Because your voice stopped just now. All right. Can you repeat again?
just a second.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's the annex is already complete, and you have enough to understand and to follow without having reinventing anything. Just decide and do it, and it makes your life much more easier, I think. Okay. I wanna end up my presentation with a video presentation. It's about the same thing what the Tuan site has shown. I think now it's being shown. Okay. Okay. Let me get my assistant. So. Okay, doctor.
Okay,
Okay.
Tuan Haji. Yeah, okay, okay. Your
Thank you
videos is
very
quite good,
much.
right? Hi.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you have any presentation after this?
Sorry, no, that's it. That's the end of my presentation.
Oh, okay, okay. So, so that's your presentation, right? Okay, Tuan Haji. All right.
That's right.
So, okay. So, you will be taken over by Puan Hayati, is it?
No,
Puan Hayati
I'll
have
be
a
here. I'll
presentation?
be here.
Okay. All right.
No.
So, oh, no presentation from Puan Hayati. Okay. So, I think
No,
okay.
I'll
All
be
right.
here.
So, okay, all right. See if there is no presentation from Tuan Haji Nazri. So thank you very much. So now we go for the Q&A session. Is it okay? Tuan Haji, we spend a bit time for the Q&A because
No problem.
I can solve there are a lot inquiries from the participant. Now reach more than 100 participants for this morning session. So we need to entertain their question. So right. So we go back to the first question. All right. This question in terms of documentation control from the I believe from the first one, documentation control, is it how does the document control for this, is it retention period is determined by the company contractors or how for CIS, is it have some limitation for the documentation control? Mr. Tuan Syed? Tuan Haji.
Okay.
Tuan Syed.
Okay.
Okay, Tuan Syed. Okay.
Maybe after this, maybe Tuan Haji will add on some opinion. Okay, because Tuan Haji is also the very experienced person. So I think for the document control, basically it is based on the contractor responsibility. So because the ownership of the program or process and procedure is a contractor, but you need to have your own capable. I mean that you have maybe you need to have one a dedicated person to control all the document. So I think it is under responsibility contractor. Maybe Haji, you want to add something? Haji?
No, I
No.
100% agreed. And
Okay.
even right now, what we're trying to do is put all of those drawings, especially specification, put it in the PDF forms and have it in your laptop, in your
Okay.
tabs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Everything is
control is
digital.
so
Yeah.
much easy. Yes,
Yes,
sir,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Digitalization, yeah.
Yeah, digitalization.
Digitalization.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Next question. Thank
Yes.
you. All right. For internal audit, can a company appoint external party to perform the internal audit when internal quality assurance still under training or not available? That means can use an external party for internal audit for this certification. Is it okay?
Okay.
CQA, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. For this question, I think under the standard, it is actually already mentioned about the requirement to become the internal auditor. Internal audit. I think
Okay.
if you can appoint either the third party or you have an internal auditor, but need to have some professionalism for to conduct the audit. So under the standard, if you read I think page 5, he already mentioned who are to become the internal auditor, who has successful attended CQMS or ISO 9001 related training and shall have at least 3 years of working experience in construction. This is very important. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe Haji want to.
I agree with that, but I just want to add, if I am the owner of the business, I will look at the output of the reports. If I'm not happy with it, I will question the person or change or get more things from the better auditors, because the auditors means a lot to me as an owner. This is something that people must understand.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Okay, thank you,
That's my
Tanji.
answer.
All right, next
Yeah.
question from Teo Chen Hong. We are aware that there currently a company may have some multiple tasks for the company to save the the budget, the expenditure, everything. So he said that some of the staff should carry many titles during the job. So as a quality rep, as anything titles during that that job. All right. So is it how to go forward in terms of competency? Is it in terms of to verify the competency of the person that have carry many many titles at one time? So is it allowable for this program?
Okay.
Uh,
This is my views. Maybe I give add later. So my views actually when I previously involved in contractor. I think
Yeah,
more
please,
4
please.
years I involved in contractor, but some as this question is multitasking the issues. I think for my view it's okay, but if they can do that, it's okay. But
As long as they
under
can
the
do
stand,
that the many tasking, then okay,
yes.
should be okay.
But
Shouldn't be any problem.
under the standard, he already mentioned about the resources needed.
Hmm.
If you have a problem, you need to highlight during the internal audit and also to highlight in during the management review. Maybe your top management is there. You can explain how to implement this quality management system, either ISO 9001 or CQMS. It needs some dedicated or a dedicated and experienced person to implement this system. Okay.
All right.
I
Thank
think
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuan Haji. Yeah, Tuan Haji.
I think I have developed a few competencies points for CQMS, and I could share with Krim many times. And I wish really that Krim sell the ideas to all the auditors so that they understand really what is CQMS compared to the 9000. That's all, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. So a next question from Vivian. If you have the international ISO 9001 2015 certification, does the certification of CQMS compulsory to implement? So that means if they already have ISO 9001, so is it compulsory to have another certification of CQMS?
Okay. I answer this question. Okay, under the standard, I based on standard because as a part of auditor, we based on what the standard requirement. Under clause 1.4, 1.4, item B, G, item
Yeah.
B, that as mentioned about this document is not applicable for the coordinator who have been certified to ISO 9001. It's not applicable, but if you want to have it, it's value added to your company. This is my point. Because ISO 9001 is international, but the CI 2029 most of focus on the local construction sector. Okay.
Yes, agree. Tuan Syed, as is spelled out in the CIS 1.4 under item 1.4. So I read the statement. Actually, not applicable for contractors, right? Who have already ISO 9001 certification. So I think it's clear cut for us to. That means it's not necessary, right? Is it, Tuan Syed? Is it okay?
Yeah.
It's not necessary for the companies that have in
Okay,
ISO 9001.
Tuan Syed,
Right.
agree with that.
Yep.
Huh?
Okay. Tuan Haji Nazri also agree, right?
Yeah.
With the statement. Okay. Next question. We go to the next question. This CIS 29 is recognized within
Big
Malaysian
project
only
and
from Mr. Teo. Is it applicable in Malaysia or international application?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, this standard is focused on the local construction sector. For the international, you still need to use ISO 9001 because ISO 9001 is internationally. Okay.
Okay, agree.
Okay, thank you. Agree, Tuan Haji? Or you want to add
Yes.
some more information?
No,
Alright.
that's it.
Okay. All right. Next question. Can contractor apply for certification under this scope with any certification body in Malaysia? From Technologies Alif Hanifi.
Okay. I answer this question.
Okay.
May I answer the question? I think this question is more tactical. It's not the technical question. It's more tactical. They want to know either this system can be implemented to other situation body. As I mentioned in my presentation, the first we want to implement the standard, we need to create the strategy. Create the strategy mean that we need to have the ecosystem. The ecosystem, when you want to become the auditor, we need to have the training. Is it your experience to become the auditor? Do you have experience on the construction? So we need to look into the implementation and also the requirement under the standard. So the ecosystem is very important because under the ecosystem, they are currently maybe cream, but in future we don't know. Because we need cream as a part of the CIDB. We want to develop the ecosystem, especially the auditor, the trainer, the internal auditor, the awareness of the contractor, the system, the understanding, the standardization, and also if any auditor they want to implement this program, they have a same understanding and same page. Means that if you want to check the quality objective, what the element need to have, we need to standardize. We don't not want to this auditor. I think Haji Nazri maybe agree with me because the auditor we have a lot of assumption, a lot of interpretation of the standard.
Right.
So Liam,
Yeah.
so this is
Yeah,
very important.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They must internalize the standards. Like for example, in the Philippines, if you're talking about the coconut standards, they are really close to their house. Are you talking about this greater? They are so close because this is my country product. I invented this. So
They are
I see, we want that
localized
to
product.
happen
Yeah,
too.
yes. Localized,
Right. Yeah, that's what we
documentation.
want really.
Yeah, really. So
Okay,
that's
instead
our
of having
applicable for
somebody
the
else.
Malaysia. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, that's right. That's right,
Yeah.
sir.
So okay,
Thank you.
next question. Is the CIS 29 compulsory for contractor or it is voluntary? As I can mention, because I read in the statement that during the preface mentioned that this is a voluntary. This standard is voluntary as comply with this construction industry standard. So the next question is, can contractors start implementing this CIS 29 or get it certified? When does the contractor start to implement this one?
Okay. Thank you. Okay, all right. As I mentioned in during my presentation, I think this is a good thank you who asked this question. Because you can email to me because currently we want to get the takers for industry, the demand, the demand from the industry. We need to look to see either this standard is have a potential industry to adopt and adapt into their program. So actually we are working together with Haji Nazri for this purpose. So we look into if you are interested to apply the CQMS certification, please do that. As I mentioned last my slide, you can email to me site@crim.my. I will communicate with you later. We can sit together for the next planning. Okay, thank you.
All right. So next question. What are the cost fees to conduct the CQMS certification? Does any cost imposed for the contractors to do this CQMS?
Okay, thank you. This question, I already predict this question will be asked from the participant. Okay, for your information, the cost is very minimum. I think more than cheaper than ISO 9001 because our intention, I think this also this our regulatory body intention to increase the quality of the contractor. Maybe the cost is very cheaper than ISO 9001 because we already localize the standard in order to suit with the contractor requirement. I think if you want to know the detail, you also can email to me. We can discuss it later.
Okay, right. Thank you. Okay. Next question from Nurul Hidayati Sulaiman. Any available consultant can help for the contractors to establish this system according to CIS 29?
Okay.
Can I just a
Okay.
simple answer that?
Okay, Tuan
Okay,
Haji.
Thank you, Haji.
actually, we had two presentation in Penang and Kuala Lumpur last time, and we
Okay.
even established
Your sound is not clear. Tuan Haji, repeat again.
Haji, dengar? Haji tak ada.
Wait for a while. With
uh, can you hear me now?
yeah. Now
Hello?
can hear.
Okay,
Can you
right.
repeat again, Tuan Haji? Yeah, repeat
Okay,
say again. Right.
actually, we had two presentation, one in Penang and one in KL, and we
Okay.
have prepared a website for
Hmm.
how to actually use the system and how to keep the records, how to all put all everything that we have mentioned just now into that website. You can look at it and you can just a simple things. Yeah. So but if you still need some consultation, I do not think that it's going to be very, very expensive.
Okay. All right. So want to add some more, Tuan Syed?
Okay,
Okay.
from my views, I think I agree with Haji Nazri because this standard, I think as I mentioned, this the B2 standard because the standard is very easy and direct to understand. If you want to in my presentation, if you want to develop your own process, is your process. You need to develop your process because you can comply your process. If you adopt the other process, maybe when you see
Yeah.
your evidence, you cannot comply. For example, you want to see your training, you don't do the training because the process is belonging to others. You adopt. This is very important. So you need to have your own, but you can uh, uh, take as a reference for your development, internal development. Okay,
All right.
alright.
Thank you. Another question from Norazila, Puan Norazila. If let's say the contractor of G7, instead of they having their already ISO, can still use for CQMS to renew for license in future?
Okay, thank you. I will ask this question. Actually, as I mentioned, in terms of ecosystem, because why I highlight the ecosystem, because the ecosystem is very important. I think a lot of contractor will ask after we get the CQMS, what will the benefit to us? So for your information, we when the final ecosystem maybe in May or June, maybe May and June. So we look into to recognize CQMS when you apply the score and MCore. So instead of ISO, so it can be one recognition from the CIDB Malaysia. If you get a CQMS, it can be recognized as a score under score or MCore. Okay, these are the next feature. But for that's why I think that I mentioned I highlight every time is the ecosystem is very important. So we want to develop the good ecosystem where comprises with a lot of parameter that you ask. This is very good because we will take all the question to implement to improve our ecosystem later. Thank you.
All right. Okay. The next question from Puan Afika. All right. Is there any possibility to be a external assessor for this CIS 29 if this implementing is next time?
Okay, good question.
Definitely, I think. Yeah.
So they are looking for the external assessor.
Yes, of
Very
course.
interesting subject.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, good question. Aji want to ask? I want to answer the
The
question.
answer. No, I think what you have, I think you have answered.
Okay, right. Okay.
You said that they have your community or all that.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Actually, my answer for this question, for your information, we want to develop that's called associate auditor. So we want to because the contractor is a lot of contractor. We want to develop the full auditor, but we will do the training to you. If you are interested, you can email to me. We will select you based on your experience. But as I mentioned, you need to understand the standard, the requirement of standard. You need to have the experience on the construction industry, and also you need to attend 1 day CQMS training. So if you comply with all the requirement, although you have a 9001, but to become the auditor, assessor, you need to come to 1 day training for the CQMS to give your understanding about the requirement CS 29.
Is there any fees for the training? For free, training.
I cannot say today because I depend on the top management. But I think
Okay.
maybe for the package for the early stage, maybe we can subsidize or at the minimum cost, because we
Yeah.
need to have your commitment to attend this course. I think you can avoid the cost. Okay, right?
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. All right. So this certification actually already given by CIDB, right, Tuan Syed? Because one person asked me about who are giving this certification. Is it from which?
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. For your information, certification will be prepared and produced by CRIM. So when we get the certification, the certificate need to be recognized by CIDB. But as I mentioned, we need to look into a lot of. I think the first the certification I know, like the question from the industry, they ask who the certification body can produce the certificate. So of course, certification body will produce the certificate, but the recognition from the regulatory body or the certified body is very important. Okay.
All right. So let's say the company is not started yet the project. So is it they can possible to get the CQMS certification before the start of the project?
Okay. Adi, you
Tuan
want to
Haji?
answer the question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, we discussed about this. When you want to apply, you must have something. If not, you can't just free hands. So, if you intend to get some projects, at least 30% during the project that they have to do the evaluation for the audits.
Oh.
So that would be considered.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you. So that
Okay.
means clear for the participant. Every question we have answered. We have give the feedback to you all. So I hope you are already clear about the way forward of the CQMS and also CIS 29. For just matter of how to get the copy of CIS. Is it can downloadable from the CIDB website?
Yes.
Yeah. So the participant
free.
can go to for free. Yes, to get the free download from the document of CIS 29 from CIDB website. So that because CIDB, I was informed, is not printing too many copies for just reference internally. So the rest of the go digital the copies, right? So maybe the last question is there any last question for my question? Is it okay? So Mr. Tuan Syed has mentioned about the guidelines, the template they have given in the hard copy. Is there any some form of future in terms of to digitalize that form to become more digital friendly for the contractor to fill out? Because these are the hard copy, template.
Okay, thank you. This question, I think a very good question, because currently we go to the digitalization.
Yep.
So I hope in future of course, we will do it for the digitalization for this process. Maybe you can have, if you aware about the QRASIC portal and also SHASIC portal, all the system application digital.
Yes,
So
that's right.
assignment, assessment, all digital. So
Mm.
we have intention to do that in future. But in early stage, this stage, we want to take some industry takers to support this program, because this program is very good. For me, it's very good because it's a part of the your system to increase, to enhance. I think that's all from.
Okay. Last word, Tuan Haji Nazri, you have something last word to speak?
Make it the CIS 29 successful.
Okay, all right.
That's
So
my last words.
okay, so okay,
Yes.
right. So I think we have reached to end of the our webinar a bit earlier since the Ramadan time. So I think more of us are need to more relax during the Ramadan. All right. So I think this is an awareness program for those who are joined us today. So it's a key start of the creating the awareness, creating the some get information of the CQMS and also CIS 29. So it will be good for your company to enhance your capacity, your competency in terms of leadership, organization, everything in terms of what we call the process, construction process, everything. So it's a good start for your company to look into this CQMS seriously after this, because I think CIDB will go in the very comprehensive program after this CQMS. It will be launched later. So I think it's good for you to know some information of this during this webinar today. Okay, so I think on behalf of Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, I would like to thanks especially to Tuan Haji Nazri, Tuan Haji Muhammad Nazri Abdurrani from Total Organisation Management Consulting Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Thank you, Tuan Haji, for your
Welcome, sir.
spending your time, your very busy time with us to share your experience. And all right, thank you, Technology Site Hazni from the CREAM itself. So for sharing and also answering all the very good question with a professional and also with a cool manner, right? Okay, so thank you very much. So I hope I hope is can satisfy all our participant today. Also, okay, so the Secretary will give you all the presentation. Will email you later the presentation slide to you, as those are requests for through the chat box. All right. So bear in mind, tomorrow we are going to have another session of webinar, session number 2. That's tomorrow is will start at 9 a.m. as well. So tomorrow's session topic is on looking on the OSHIM. Another interesting topic, OSHA that related to OSHA 1994. That two presenter will be speaking to tomorrow from the DOSH and also from UTM. So those are interested or keen to join, so please do registration before we can start the webinar tomorrow. All right. So with that note, I think I would like to thanks all the participants, all to speakers. All right, to give your time and give some attention to this our session today. All right. With that, I pass over to the Miss Diana, Technologist Diana, to proceed with the event. All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Khairuddin, and also to our speakers, Technology Site Hazni and Tuan Haji Muhammad Nazri, for the very fruitful discussion. And also thank you to all participants for your active participation today. So like Dr. Khairuddin mentioned, we will share the presentation slide with you, also together with the video from Encik Nazri just now, and to get with your certificates via email within 5 working days. So please kindly check your inbox from time to time. So before we leave, let's have a quick photo session for memory keeping. So I would really appreciate it if everyone can turn on your cameras and get ready for the photo shoot. Thank you. Okay, I just allow everyone to on your camera. So we have about 166 participants today. So quite a very, very big crowd. I guess this is the biggest crowd that we have ever had since January. So thank you so much to everyone for spending your Ramadan with us. Okay, so there's still some of you who haven't turned on your cameras. Okay, we're gonna have few photo sessions since there are so many of you. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, all right, ready? Okay, 1, 1, 2, smile. Okay. Another one. 1, 2, smile. Can we have four more? Because I want to make sure everyone is in the photo. All right. Okay, just keep smiling. Okay, all right, that's it. All right, again, thank you so much, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, thank you for being here with us. CREAM Webinar Series 2023 is a monthly program, so do not forget to follow us on our social media and visit our website to keep updated with our upcoming webinars. And for those of you who have registered for tomorrow, we hope to see you tomorrow, okay? Have a good day, everyone. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.